All right, so that's a while loop. This is a for loop. Let's take a look at another indefinite loop, right? The loop. And we can say the loop also acts while something is true. While something is true. Remember, these indefinite loops will work indefinitely while something is true, whereas the for loop will run from one range till the end of a range. Different, okay? It's different. So we're going to do the same thing. Since we did A and B, we're going to make C. We're going to set it to 0. And to use the loop statement, we will work with the loop keyword. So all we have to do is say loop, which is nice and easy, bring in the brackets, and then define what we want to loop. And let's say we want to count C to negative numbers. We want to use unsigned negative numbers. So what we could do is we could say C equals C minus 1. And by the way, a shorthand format of writing B equals B plus 1 or C equals C minus 1 is by actually combining the equal plus sign. So this is the same. C equals C minus 1 is the same as C minus equals 1. It's just a shorthand. This is just a short format to write this, which is easier and more pleasing on the eyes, and you get used to it. So I just want to show you that. You can do the same thing for B as well. Okay? And here, let's actually print C. So we're going to print it. And we can say C equals, and we'll bring in C so we can see what the values of C are as they decline. And then we want this to end, because if it doesn't end, it's going to loop until infinity, and we don't want to loop until infinity. So what we can do is we're going to use another type of statement. Like up here we use this continue statement to modify, but I'm going to show you another statement you can use in loops that's very popular, which is called break. So we can bring in decision-making structure logic again. We can say, for example, we could say if C is equal to negative 10, curly brackets, that was an interesting slip of the tongue. Break, then we break. And what does break do? Break ends the loop. Break ends the loop, okay? All right. So let's actually give this a test run. It's okay if you're a little confused by the syntax here. Let's give it a test run and go through it. So I'm gonna hit run, and we're gonna check the console. I see that we got an error here. Let's check the error. So it says break outside of a loop. Okay, what did I do wrong? Let's see. Okay, maybe you guys spotted this. So this is our loop. I put the if condition outside of the loop. If the if condition's outside of the loop, the code's gonna break because this word break belongs within the scope of the loop. We're using a keyword that brings on a statement which has no context. Plus, we're not even going to get to do what we want to do. I mean, we're not even get that close because the whole thing breaks. So what we want to do is move the if code into the loop. My bad. So let's do that. And let's clean it up. And let's run it again. And clean up a little more. And let's try this again. Let's run it again. All right. So let's check at the bottom here. C equals minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, all the way up to minus 10. And it works the same way as the while loop. The only difference here is we added the while true condition statement as an if statement and we break it, as opposed with the while loop over here, in which we say while B is going to be at a certain number until it hits that number, which is kind of a little bit closer to the definite way of looking at it. But don't be fooled. It's not. It's indefinite, right? And again, this also works the same way. C equals minus 1. We start at 0. So what happens in the iteration? Well, C is 0. Then 0 minus 1 is minus 1. We print minus 1. That's the first thing we print all the way till we get to, when we get to negative 9, we get 10. We print 10. And then we say if C is negative 10, hold on. Because all those other times it was never negative 10, so it passed. But this one time, no, hold on, it is. And the loop ends. All right, and that's it. Those are the 3 ways you can loop in Rust that you just got to practice with, focus in, and it's going to make sense. I promise, promise, promise. All right, this is great. Let's stop right here, and in the next lesson, and in the next video, let's do an exercise so you can practice for yourself. All right, I'm excited for you to try this, and whenever you're ready, I'll see you for your next exercise.